If you're building a business in 2026, you need to make sure that you are connecting with your customers. And a CRM, or a client relationship management tool, is going to help you do just that. If you're not using a CRM, you are definitely going to struggle to grow. So in this video, I'm going to show you my favorite CRM tool that you can build in moments thanks to Softr. There's a template available, and the fact that Softr is so easy to use allows you to then make small changes to the CRM to make it fit your exact workflow. I'm going to break it all down for you in this video. So if you're looking for the perfect CRM that is easy to set up, not terribly expensive, and incredibly flexible, you've come to the right place. Stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth, and this is Gap Consulting. It's my mission to help you unlock the full potential of Airtable and related no-code tools. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Softr, which can function as a front end to Airtable. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, we are going to be taking a look at using Softr as a CRM. But before we get to that, I want to invite you to join us for a strategy session. If you're struggling to build software for your business, sign up for our complimentary inquiry or strategy sessions. You can do this directly on our website by following the description and the steps that you see on your screen right now. We offer free, complimentary 20-minute calls to help you get unstuck and to help point you in the right direction so that you can build better tools for your business. Sign up today and you'll soon be speaking to a representative from our team at your discretion. Now, let's go ahead and hop on into the heart of the video, and we're going to start by looking at this CRM. Now, I'm a little bit torn about templates, and here's the reason. I think that it's really valuable if you're building your own no-code tools. It's valuable to you if you understand how exactly that thing works. And a lot of times when we start with a template, we just get something up and running real quick, and we don't really understand how it works, why it does what it does. That being said, the other side to this argument is a nice template like the one that I'm going to show you here. It allows you to dip your toe in the water. So this is perfect for you if you've never used Softr before and you just want to kind of understand what it's all about. Using a template is going to show you a bunch of core features that the software has available, and that will allow you to start, unlocking levels within your own capabilities in building with these tools. So this is a template that I have mixed feelings about, but it's where we're starting from. Now, on this template page, and by the way, I welcome you to follow along with me, and you can sign up for Softr using the code that you see on your screen right now. This code is going to allow you to get 1 free month. It's over $100 in value, so sign up with our code to take advantage of that, and just follow along with me here. When you're on this screen, you can go through the different components of this template. So here you can see that the average person logs in, they can track the contacts, the companies, and the deals. Here is the desktop version, and here in the small box, the mobile version. So you can already see that this is compliant. It works with all kinds of tools. We can flip on through and see different features of this. So here we've got interactions with the company. There's a little digest. There's a bit of a deal flow here. And notice on this side, we're actually integrating with AI. This template comes preloaded, pre-integrated with AI tools, and you can ask those tools to analyze information that's happening in your CRM, which I'll demonstrate further in a moment. We can also come in here to see that we can send emails to contacts directly from the CRM, which is a really nice feature. And of course, you get a little loading screen here. So after you take action, it's going to let you know if it's thinking, if something is happening behind the scenes. So it's a really good, robust CRM. Even included here is a bit of a dashboard that shows us how much we're closing month over month, how we're doing, what our total ARR is that has been won, how many average interactions we have per company, etc. So a lot of really helpful information. And again, I want to highlight the advantage here. Using a tool like this, we can build it to our own needs. So imagine the template as a stepping point. You can install this, download this template, put it into your Softr account. You now have your CRM that you can make changes to based on how your business operates. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use this template, and you'll see just how quickly it is to install the template to our own system. All we have to say is use template once we are logged into Softr. And right now in the background, what Softr is doing is copying an instance of this template directly into our Softr accounts. And just that simply, the app is now live in our Softr. Now, if you've never done this before, let's go back here to the dashboard. These are all of the different apps that I have built in Softr. You can see that some of them are published, some of them are not. This AI CRM is the one that we just created. It's not yet published, we haven't finished it, but it exists here inside of our Softr account. And once we publish it and share it, anybody can access it that we give permission to. So if you're brand new to Softr, let me kind of teach you some of the areas that we need to go around to understand what we have here. First and foremost, we might want to change the colors. So if we click on theme here on the left-hand side, we can change the colors, the typography, basically a bunch of different settings that change how this app looks and feels. So as a quick example, let's say I want to change the color out. I can go here. And just like that, I've changed the color to this teal here. Let's go ahead and keep these changes, make sure we save. And we're already starting to take ownership of how the app looks and feels. So that's one place to look when you're setting up your app. Change the cosmetic components of the app so that it feels more like your brand. Next, let's head on over to pages. So on the left again, just above the theme, we have our pages. These are all the different pages that are already created for us in the app. So you can see that we've got a bunch of different detail pages. We can go in and see a list of all the deals, all the companies, all the contacts, etc. Now, if you're wondering where the actual data lives, Softr is really flexible in this way. If we click on data, that is where we're going to find our database. So anything that is created, any records, any action that's taken by our users in our app, they're going to create data that winds up living here in the database. But it does not have to be a Softr database. Now, as I said at the beginning, we are an Airtable first channel. So the reason that we use Softr so often is because we're using it on top of Airtable. You could also use it on top of Google Sheets or SmartSuite or any number of other databases that you might already be storing your data in. The template, by default, we are creating the back end, the data layer in Softr. So yes, Softr has their own data layer, but you don't have to use it here. So if you've already built a data layer somewhere else, go ahead and integrate it with Softr, and Softr can be the front end of your application and not both the front end and the back end. So it's flexible in this way. But for this template, we can see that we've got the data layer already created here in Softr. For this template, the data layer is pretty straightforward. We have users. So this is our users table. You'll notice that users have a role, admin and sales reps. Depending on the role that a user has, when they are inside of the app, they're going to see different things, which I'll demonstrate when we preview the app. Next, we have contacts. These are people that are in our pipeline. And of course, these are all example emails, example contacts. Next, we have companies. These are the different companies that the contacts work with. So you'll see that the companies are linked to contacts, right? So for example, Jimmy and Jenny both work at IBM. And so there's a record for the contact at the contact level, and then that record links to the company on the back end. Then, of course, we have deals. And so a deal is going to have an owner. This is the person in our organization who owns the deal. Then the deal is going to be on behalf of a company. So we see that it's linked to a company. And of course, somebody can request that. And so we have that information here as well. We also have tasks that link to the deal, because as a deal comes into fruition, we have to nurture that deal through the pipeline. So we're tracking our interactions here and our tasks as they pertain to deals. So we've got the interactions digest, we've got the tasks linked up here to deals, and these other tables are really supporting those deals, supporting us as we move things through the pipeline. So that's the data layer, and we didn't even have to build anything here because it all came with the template. Again, we can integrate Softr with another tool if we have a different backend like Airtable, or we can continue to build out our data layer directly here in Softr. Then we have our users inside of our app. This is connected directly to the users that you saw at the data layer. So if you recall, we had 4 different people. One was an admin, that was Jane Robin, and then we have 3 sales reps here. So this information, the fact that we have these user groups come into existence through our template, and we can add new user groups, but it's condition-based. Depending on what role they have at the data layer, gives them different grouping so that when they log into the app, they're going to be treated as either a sales rep or an admin. And these 2 different roles see different things. So let's go ahead and actually preview the app, and we can impersonate different people. Now remember, Jane is the person in our app who is the admin, so Jane's experience will be different from all the others. This is what it looks like for somebody who is not logged in. So they're going to see this. They can fill out their own email, their first name, their last name, and describe their needs here and submit. So this allows them to put together an inquiry, which is going to come directly into our CRM. And this, again, is perfect for the non-logged in user, the person external to the company who is filling out information for an inquiry. Next, we're going to look at impersonating what it looks like for a sales rep. Let's take Brad, for example. We get a little warning that says we're previewing as Brad, and anything that we do in the app is going to actually have an impact on the data layer. But you'll notice for Brad, Brad's homepage here has some quick links. He can go quickly to contacts, companies, and deals, which are also here on the left-hand side. And Brad also sees tasks, his dashboard, and a global dashboard. So this allows Brad to just take action right inside of his tasks on these various things. He can also add new tasks on behalf of, whatever he needs to do. He can tie those tasks to a deal. He can give them a name, a description, a due date, and he can assign himself or someone else on the team to do these different tasks. He can then update the progress of his tasks. Let's say he moves forward with this Adidas follow-up, and then it's in progress, and then once it's complete, he just drops it. He can also click into these different tasks and update this information. He can look at the related deal. He can edit the information about this task. So he has full flexibility to, interact with the information. The thing is, Brad only sees Brad's tasks. And that's one of the beauties behind Softr, because somebody who's logged in is only going to see the stuff that relates to their work and whatever they are trying to get accomplished. In Brad's dashboard, he'll see some high-level summaries. So how many contacts he's in charge of, how many companies, how many deals, etc., and what he's closed over the last few months. Now, he can also look at the global dashboard, which of course is going to be the full company at large and not specific to him. He also can drill into contacts and companies, etc. Let's go ahead and just look at the contacts here. Note that Brad can add new contacts. He can click into his existing contacts. He can look at past interactions. He can look at the company that a contact is associated with. He can send an email. It's all very flexible. The key is this is the base foundation for any CRM. But again, you can add to this if you have specific components for your pipeline and your sales process. But now let's impersonate what it looks like for an admin. If we come down and sign in as Jane and start to impersonate Jane, you'll see that there's a new section here. Jane can click on user management. So as an admin, Jane has the additional capability or the additional responsibility of managing the team. So Jane can come in and update the status or the role of these different users. She can promote them to admin. She can also add new users to the system so that they can log in and start tracking their tasks and their deals. And Jane can also delete people from the system when they are no longer supposed to have access. So from the company perspective, now you have somebody who can actually manage the users as well as use the CRM on, whatever tasks are at hand. Note, of course, that Softr is also compatible in both tablet and mobile devices, and you can scan this link and just immediately start trying this on your device. So that's Softr and the CRM template in a nutshell. but let's not forget to lean into the AI components. So a couple of things that this particular template brings into play. I'm going to go back first to our interface in Softr, and we're going to take a look at our workflows. Notice that we have a draft workflow or automation already built here. Now, this workflow is designed to go out and find information for our company to do some, research basically, and give us leads with which we can follow up. Now, if you're interested in exactly how this works, you can build your own workflows. So let's say, for example, you ran something on a schedule. You might have a recurring schedule that happens every day or every week or, whatever your particular preference is, right? So you can set up your trigger to recur on whatever schedule. Once you've established your schedule, you can then add some actions to this automation so that every week, maybe it's Monday at 10 a.m., then it takes some action, and you can integrate with Claude, you can integrate with Gmail, you can integrate with a ton of different tools. But let's imagine that we wanted to go out and scrape some information. Maybe we were trying to pull in people's LinkedIn profiles, or we wanted to get information about companies who maybe were good fits for our services. We can build automated processes that go out and scrape information from the internet, bring it back into our CRM, and allow our team to start following up with people that are good fits for our service. So you can imagine how powerful this is. You're not waiting for people necessarily to come to you. You're actively going out and finding the right people thanks to AI and automation running in the background. The other really cool AI tool that I want to show you is that you can communicate with AI directly in your app. So let's say, for example, again, I'm impersonating here as Jane. I might want to have a conversation about my deal flow. Well, right here, I can open up and ask AI, and I can say something like, what deals are close to closing? I mean, this is a very simple, rudimentary example. Of course, you can ask much more complex questions, but this AI is already built right into the tool, and you're going to see that it answers for us immediately or relatively quickly once it's analyzed what's going on inside of the business. And just like that, it's telling us, hey, look, these 3 have been won. You might want to make sure that they actually get over the finish line appropriately. And these 3 are in negotiation. So again, this was a very rudimentary question, but you can ask the AI information and it can analyze what's actually happening in your business, provided that you've already put that information in your CRM. So I know we went quickly in this video. Obviously, there is a ton to show here, but I'm hopeful that for you, the key takeaway is that this tool, although it can be stood up very quickly, it's also highly flexible. You can tweak it to whatever you need for your particular use case in your business. That is the beauty and the luxury of using no-code tools like Softr and Airtable. I hope you got a ton of value here. If you did, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It really goes a long way as we produce content like this. And of course, if you have a question that we didn't quite answer, swing by our website because we've put a ton of resources together, including that strategy session, which I encourage you to take advantage of so that you can get up and running in no code more quickly. That's it for this one. Most important thing, my friends, keep on building.